Hi, I'm Michelle Harris.
I'm Gary Harris.
And we are Team Harris for Real Estate with 525 Realty Group. And today we're going to talk about what is earnest money. There is a lot that goes into purchasing a home for the first time. And you are not expected to know everything. That's our job. So when it comes to money, people are very cautious about what they're spending their money on and where is it going. And rightly so, it is a large investment. So when it comes to earnest money, we get asked these questions quite a bit.
Such as, what is it?
How much is it?
Where does it go?
Is it required?
And can I get it back? Well, earnest money is a deposit made from the buyer to the seller, usually held in a third party's trust account, such as an abstract company or another broker. Earnest money can be just that, money, or it can be anything of value, such as anything from a goat to a boat. Anything the buyer and the seller both agree upon.
So how much is it? So that's what everybody wants to know, right? I mean, because after all, we're talking about money. How much are we talking? Earnest money is typically 1% of the purchase price. Some sellers might be willing to accept less, but in today's market, especially being a seller's market right now, that 1%, if you want your offer to be a strong offer and to be considered, it is highly recommended that you do 1% of your offer.
And where does it go? Well, once the buyer closes on the property, the earnest money goes towards either the purchase of the price of the house or towards the closing cost. Typically, in a seller's market, we recommend putting your earnest money to be applied towards the closing cost. It gives you a much stronger offer, and it's just going to be better received.
Yes.
Okay.
So is it required? No. Per the contract, and I'm just going to read this because this is strictly right out of our Oklahoma real estate contract. So within 3 days of the executed contract, buyer must deliver, and whatever buyer and seller have agreed to, as earnest money, which shall be deposited in the trust account of the title company or the listing broker's trust account as partial payment of the purchase price or the closing costs. So that kind of explains right there, it's either going towards the purchase price or it's going towards the closing costs. So it sounds like it's required because of how it reads, must deliver. However, the earnest money is whatever the buyer and seller have agreed to is something of value. That is what has to be delivered to in 3 business days to either title company or the broker. Can't imagine a goat or a boat being delivered to the title company, but stranger things have happened.
It happens.
So 99% of the time, it is going to be money.
And can I get it back? Can I get my earnest money back? Well, in most instances, yes, you can. However, like everything else in life, there are exceptions to the rule. For example, if the buyer breaches the contract after certain periods of time, then the buyer will not be getting the earnest money back. Because of breach of contract, the seller can and most likely will keep the earnest money. Typically, we do our very best to not let that get to that point. We are always negotiating, always moving forward, make sure everybody's pleased on both sides of the contract so that everyone wins, nobody loses earnest money, house gets sold, everything stays good.
Yes, that is the key to the end, is to get to the closing day and everybody is happy. Seller sells a house, buyer buys one. Do you have any questions about real estate? Do you have questions about earnest money? We want to hear from you. So just leave your comments down below, or you can reach out to us directly. And we appreciate you watching, taking the time to do that. And we do appreciate and look forward to hearing your comments and your feedback. We also invite you to check out our website, so teamharrisforrealestate.com. You do not have to have an account or register in any way to have up-to-date property information. You see a property that you like, you can scroll towards the bottom of the page and request a showing. The link will be provided in the comments down below. So you can also find us on social media. So what
Facebook, such as Facebook,
Instagram,
Twitter,
and LinkedIn. We appreciate you watching. Again, thank you for that. And as always, come be our client. We really would love you to be our client. And
Yes,
we will
we would.
take really great care of you.
yes.
So until next time, we're Team Harris for Real Estate.